This is the Clear Money Talk podcast, offering up creative solutions for your retirement future through education, choice, transparency, and empathy. Now, your host, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners, Tim Claremont.
Hello and welcome to Clear Money Talk. I am your host, Tim Claremont, CEO and founder of Clear Financial Partners. And as always, your co-host is here, Mr. Tyler Andrews.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm smiling. I feel like we do the same intro every time, and I'm like, is that good? Like for consistency and repetition, is it bad? But some things it's nice to have reliability with.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. So if you're bored with if you are binge watching or binge listening our podcast,
like Tim says,
you're probably tired of the same intro over and over and over again. So I can just say I'm extra caffeinated today. So
I can tell.
Hopefully the enthusiasm carries forward. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do.
We record these in the morning. So
yes,
Tim's favorite time of the day is the morning.
That's right.
Naturally,
that's the best time. I'm at my best. So honestly, when I see clients in the afternoon, I am so jacked to spend time with clients face to face that carries me through the afternoon. Like if you ever have that lull from 1 to 5 where you just don't perform well, like that was the worst time for me in school, like high school and college. Like I hated to have classes from anything in that 1 to 5 window. It was brutal. Frankly, I would take a nap from like 3 to 5 when I'd get home, and then I would stay up later so that I could do homework because I was not functional there. However, when I see clients between 1 and 5, I just love helping clients so much that it's like I'm jacked anyway. So,
yeah, he is.
That happens anyway. But yes, caffeinated and ready to go. So happy to teach and happy to chat. What is IRMAA? That's our topic today, right?
That's right. What is IRMAA? IRMAA.
Yes, IRMAA. So here's the deal. If you click this out of curiosity and you're like, I don't know, what is IRMAA? This is really, really, really important for you to learn what this is and if you've heard the term before, you probably have already gotten a sense of what this is. But I'll tell you, there are a few things that the first time you learn about it, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a big deal, and you'll never forget it. And this is one of those things. So if this is the first time you're hearing IRMAA and finding out what it is, listen to this because you don't want to have a big negative surprise. So IRMAA stands for Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. Is that correct?
You got it. Yeah.
There we go. Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And fundamentally, what IRMAA is, just to give you the quick answer here is, it's basically a tax. It's a tax on people who make more money, because if you make it, once you're eligible for Medicare at 65 years old, you have a normal amount of money that you have to pay for Medicare Part A and Part B. And when you make that payment, it's typically deducted from your Social Security. If you're not collecting Social Security yet, you'll separately make that payment, and you could still qualify for that at 65, and because you qualify for Medicare at 65. But if your income is higher than average, then they say, well, you have to just pay more because the premium for Medicare, it's just like a health insurance payment, right? So you've had health insurance payments probably, from your employer or through your self-employed years or whatever your situation is. That's what Medicare is. When they have the deduction, they deduct for Medicare. It's a health insurance payment, and the costs of Medicare as a health insurance provider are subsidized at a significant level by the U.S. government, meaning we're underpaying for our health insurance. That's why your health insurance premium is so much higher on a normal health insurance policy than your Medicare payment is. And what they're saying is, hey, if you make enough money that you can afford to pay more, then we're going to subsidize you less. We're going to charge you a little extra for Medicare. And that kind of sucks. I mean, generally speaking, it just feels like a bummer because one person in one household gets the exact same health insurance benefits under Medicare as the other person in the other household, and yet they have to pay more. Imagine if you had a health insurance policy that was the same policy benefits for you and your coworkers and everything else, but for some reason you were singled out because you make more money and you had to pay a higher health insurance premium. That's what it feels like when you have this extra cost for IRMAA. And it does become significant. And so just sharing this with you so that you realize, hey, this is coming. If you hit 65 or older and you're getting your Medicare benefits, and all of a sudden you have a high income earning year, like maybe you get a big bonus post 65, or if you're self-employed and you just knock the cover off the ball, and you have a really big income earning year. Or maybe you sell some long-term capital gains tax. Maybe you have some highly appreciated stock or real estate, and you sell it, and it pops your income up for that year. Or you have some stock options that come in. We've also seen situations where you might, anything that's going to result in you having an increase in income that occurs after 65, that's when we see these IRMAA problems. And the gist of it is this, and that's thank you for printing this grid, Tyler, because it does change a little bit.
Changes all the time.
Over time. So right now in 2024, the official IRMAA brackets, you could Google this or use Perplexity for AI or whatever other search engine you want to check out. But fundamentally, if you're single and you have taxable income at below $103,000, and I don't know if this is taxable or adjusted gross income or provisional income as far as these categories
They
are
use
concerned.
modified adjusted gross income.
Maggie, okay.
Yeah.
So modified adjusted gross income. So if your modified adjusted gross income is below $103,000, then your supplement for Part B is $174.70. That's how much will be withheld from Social Security for your payment. And if you're married, it's $206,000, so it's exactly double the $103,000 single number. And if you make more than that in a particular year, you have to pay extra on your health insurance premium. That IRMAA kicks in, and that income-related, meaning you make too much income, monthly adjustment amount, meaning they're going to adjust your monthly amount that's being withheld or that you have to pay for Medicare, goes up from $174 to $244.60. For your Part B, and your Part D goes up another $12.90. So when you look at that difference, I mean, you're looking at, I guess that's about $80, probably about $85 a month combined with Part D. Mm-hmm. So, an $80 a month extra cost, maybe that's not that much money if you're making a couple $100,000 a year. And that was the rationale behind IRMAA when the legislators put this into place is, hey, it's $80 a month. You can afford to kick in more. But that's like $1,000 a year. And that extra $1,000 a year is really kind of annoying because you don't get anything extra for it. You've already paid in your Medicare tax at the 1.45% for your wages throughout all of your working years, plus your employer paid in 1.45 for you. You've been paying 2.9% for Medicare all of those working years. And here you are having to pay extra as well because you make more money in your retirement. Now, IRMAA wasn't around forever. This is an adjustment that was made to try to make Social Security and Medicare last longer because our government has problems in terms of funding these things. These are what are called those entitlement programs that they talk about. They call them entitlement programs, not because entitlement's necessarily bad. A lot of times we use the word entitlement to imply sort of like something that we feel entitled to. And generally speaking, most people don't associate positive connotation with that. But, we do feel a sense of entitlement when it comes to Medicare and when it comes to Medicaid and when it comes to Social Security because we've paid for them for our entire working lives. We've been paying 6.2% for Social Security, plus our employer's been paying 6.2%. That's 12.4% every year, plus the Medicare tax at 1.45 plus 1.45. Again, employee, employer. If you're self-employed, you pay both sides of that, and they call it self-employment tax, 15.3%. And that's in addition to your federal and your state income tax, if you have any, as well as property taxes and any other city taxes you might have. So it's a lot of taxes that we've been spending on this, and so we feel entitled to receive those benefits, and it is frustrating. So a lot of clients work really hard every year in their retirement years to try to make sure they don't get hit with IRMAA just because it's annoying. It's one of those annoying taxes when you have to pay that extra Medicare premium. And if you find out about IRMAA the first time when you're 65 or 67 or something, because all of a sudden your income popped up and all of a sudden you get hit with that negative surprise of that extra $80 expense, that gets annoying. And it doesn't stop at $80. So it's $80 when your income is between $103,000 and $129,000 as a single person, or $206,000 to $258,000. But then it just keeps going. So when you go to $129,000 to $161,000 as a single person, or $258,000 to $322,000 as a married couple, your premium goes up another $105 a month, $349.40, and the Part D goes up to $33.30. Another, about $20 a month. So it's about a $120 a month increase. So the first level of increase hits you for almost $1,000 a year. The second level of increase hits you for over another $1,000. So now you're paying over $2,000 a year more than your neighbor who has a lower income amount for the exact same health insurance benefits. And I'm not saying this to upset you or frustrate you, but that's a common emotion that a lot of people feel with this. And it does factor in because we're always looking at lifetime taxation when we're working with our clients, and we're thinking about your taxation over all of your years of retirement. We strategize with that in mind this is an extra tax that you really need to give consideration to when you're planning your retirement income strategy. And it's just something that we want to factor in. Paying an extra couple $1,000 never feels good if you can legally avoid it. And there are ways to make sure that your income doesn't come in over these thresholds. Imagine if you came in as a married couple at $206,500. You go over by $500 on that income level, and all of a sudden, you have to pay this extra $1,000 for the year. What if you took that $500 out of a retirement account like an IRA that just pushed you over that threshold? You took $500 out, and all of a sudden you have to pay an extra $1,000 a year. Like, you wouldn't have taken the $500 out if you knew that was coming. So you don't want to go over these thresholds by just $1 because boom, you're in the next bracket and you're going to be paying that extra IRMAA Medicare surcharge. So you really want to pay attention if your income's close to these threshold numbers. And again, it does keep going. So single 161 to 193 or married 322 to 386 goes up to $454.20 per month. So now you are paying an extra $280 a month more than people who are below the having any kind of IRMAA consequences, and then on the Part D, Medicare Part D for prescription, you're at an extra $53. So you're $430 above your neighbor as far as how much you have to pay for the exact same health insurance. At 193 to 500 as a single person, or 386 to 750. Goes up another $105 a month to $559 per month. Part D going up an extra $74.20. So now you're, obviously, there goes another, over $1,000 a month increase over $1,000 a year increase for every bracket that you pop into. And then the top bracket, if you're over $500,000 as a single person or $750,000 as a married couple, which, by the way, why don't they just double that? That's not very fair, right? If you were single at $500,000, if you were two single people living together, you'd have $1 million that you could each earn $500,000 apiece before this kicks in. But as a married couple at $750,000, it kicks in with only another $250,000. So it is what it is. It's almost a marriage penalty in this case for when it comes to IRMAA at these higher levels. But $500,000 and $750,000, you're now at $594,000, which is the maximum additional IRMAA expense for Part B, or $81 for Part D, which, when you do the math on that, $174.70 is the base amount. You're looking at $500 a month more, $6,000 a year tax. That's the most you'll get hit with, is $6,000 a year. And maybe that's a good thing to keep in mind. If you're making $500,000 to $750,000 a year, you're probably familiar with some of these surprise taxes that kick in at these higher income levels. And that's what IRMAA really is. But we don't want that to be a surprise for you. We want you to see it coming. That's why we did this podcast. That's why we said, hey, here's what IRMAA is, and make sure that you plan for it and avoid it. And by the way, if you have a life-changing event moment, in other words, a massive shift in maybe you retired at 65, and all of a sudden your income is not going to be as high as it was at 65 as at 66, because you're retiring and you're expecting your income to go down, you might get hit with this IRMAA increase in your Medicare premium that lasts 2 years. They look at the last couple of years and they keep you higher before they reevaluate it again. And you might be eligible to legally avoid this tax of IRMAA by filling out a form that is, I think it's the SS-44. If you just Google or Perplexity or
Social Security Administration, SSA.
Yeah. Go to Social Security Administration, look up life-changing event for IRMAA, IRMAA. It'll pop right up. You'll find that form. And if you have one of these life-changing events that has resulted in your income popping up anomalously, that will not continue at those higher levels, they do give you some alleviation of that extra IRMAA expense if you fill that in and you qualify. So don't pay an extra tax if you don't have to. I'd rather see you give that money to the charity that you love than don't donate it voluntarily to Uncle Sam. But if Uncle Sam is your favorite charity, that's fine. You can always give them extra money; they'll take it. So
it's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, that's I'm nerding out, but this is one of those things that really bugged me when I first found out about it, and it bugs a lot of clients when they first find out about it. So I want to make sure that I'm the first one to tell you about it before it hits you, so you can plan for this and make sure that you don't spend any extra money on this surprise tax that hits everybody once they qualify for Medicare at 65. If they're earning just a little over $100,000 a year as a single person, which in this day and age in the United States, a little over 100 grand a year as a single person, it's not necessarily a luxurious income level. I mean, it's not easy to make ends meet, frankly, for a lot of people at that income level. Not to mention those that are below that income level. And a married couple at 206, you might feel differently, but at the same time, it's not necessarily easy. Inflation has gone on a pretty high levels lately, and that $100,000 income is not what it was in the 1990s, let alone the 1970s. We've got to adjust our expectations.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. Been talking so long with caffeine. I just
You did good.
All right, good. Well, I
think you hit on everything.
Okay. All right, good. Well, that's I've been monologuing for long enough. We will do our Just the Answer. And then we'll move into trivia. So
sounds good. Go for
it. By the way, before I go to Just the Answer, remember, if we taught you something smart about money today, if this is new for you, if we've ever taught you something smart about money, please go to somethingsmartaboutmoney.com and get counted. We're trying to count every person we teach something smart about money to till I can get to 1 billion. That's my lifetime goal. I want to teach 1 billion people something smart about money. And if this taught you something smart about money, all you got to do is just go to that website, click the little button that says, yes, I learned something smart about money today, and it'll add your name to the counter. Would love to have you added to that counter so I can get myself up to 1 billion. So thank you for that in response to this information if it's new for you. As far as Just the Answer, the question of the day is, what is IRMAA?
What's up with IRMAA?
What's up with IRMAA? That's a way better question. I like that better.
Yeah.
What's up with IRMAA? So IRMAA is income-related monthly adjustment amount. It's a tax that you get hit with on your Medicare premium if your income is a little bit higher than average. And the higher your income is, the higher the tax can be. It starts off at $103,000 as a single person in 2024, $206,000 as a married couple of modified adjusted gross income. If you're over those numbers, you're going to get hit with IRMAA, this extra premium on your Medicare. They'll withhold more of your Social Security to pay for that, or they will charge you more if you have to send in a check for because you haven't claimed your Social Security yet, but you're still eligible for Medicare. And it starts off with almost $1,000 more per year. And then if your income is at the maximum, it can be as high as $6,000 more per year. So it's a lot of additional money that you have to pay for the exact same health insurance benefits that other people get without paying the additional money because you make more income. And that's the way it works. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. Just pay attention to it. And remember, there is a way if you have a once in a lifetime change in your income that pops up, and you're now subject to IRMAA and you previously weren't, there is a way to fill out a form requesting, hey, I've got a life-changing event that made my income pop up into the IRMAA threshold. Please don't charge me this IRMAA tax. That was a one-time thing. My income's not going to stay at these high levels long-term. Go to Social Security Administration, SSA.gov to look for that form. Consider filling that out. See if it gets you out of IRMAA. This information, this podcast might have just saved you between $1,000 and $6,000 a year for a couple of years. This could have saved you $2,000 to $12,000 if you had a life-changing event and you were now eligible. Now you were subject to IRMAA, but you fill out that form and you send it in and you get out of it. You're welcome. So there we go. There's our Just the Answer.
I like it.
All right.
Good work.
Where do we want to go now?
Trivia.
All right.
I got a trivia for
Trivia
you.
it is.
Like normal.
What do you got, Tyler?
Okay. Talking about space, talking about planets. I want to know, do you know this answer, Tim? Roughly how many miles per hour does the Earth spin at?
Whew, I have no idea. I am not a physics junkie. I am probably not even going to be able to guess at this, but
I mean, you can guess
how
at
many
it.
miles an hour does it spin? I mean, so far off. Like, for some reason, I don't know, something like either 105,000 or like 350,000 comes to mind, and I have no idea where.
That's fast.
So it is fast.
That's very fast.
Probably faster than reality, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not fast enough. What's the
Sure.
right answer?
1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles an hour. Okay, all right.
Which still
Yeah.
seems very fast.
Yeah, but 105,000 miles an hour, we'd
It's
probably be
very-
flying off. That'd be
Yeah,
like
that would
spinning
be-
around so fast, we'd all be like, pew, off into space. So
That'd be detrimental
Yeah.
to all of us.
probably not a good idea.
Just like IRMAA can be detrimental.
Yeah, oh, true.
So,
Too true. Too
You
true.
got to be careful with both those things.
Yeah, all right. Well,
Yeah.
that brings us to, so Tim failed on trivia. That happens every now and then.
That's all right.
All right. And thank you for joining us today on Clear Money Talk. We'll talk at you again soon.
Investment advisory services are offered through Clear FP Advisors, LLC, or Registered Investment Advisor. Securities are offered through Clear FP Securities, LLC, member of FINRA IPC. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments may fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Timothy Claremont is licensed in your state, please contact his office. ClearFP Advisors, ClearFP Securities, and ClearFP Life LLC are not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide tax and/or legal advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through ClearFP, LLC NPN number 194283777 and/or ClearFP Securities NPN number 197499604. Any discussion of general investing strategies or specific securities are for conversational purposes only and should not be taken as a guaranteed endorsement or recommendation.